Listen, man, yo, let me explain something to you guys. Probably you need to hear an early morning video. Yo, a person said, why didn't I want Ice Galaxy here? Let me explain to you. A couple other social star charts I didn't want on this land. The person says, why didn't you want them here on your land? Okay, let me explain this to you. If something happened, right? I'm the real Orion. I'm a bounty hunter that put things away a long time ago. So if a jug breaks somewhere else, because I'm the one that made the plans that gave all my children. So if a jug breaks somewhere else, if there's social voting, now I don't want the elders coming here. Person says why? Because they're of an age, they're of a certain sequence of time, and the stars. They're of an age, they're of a certain sequence of time. If they usually come here, it's just to help me clean and then get rid of situations. A person said, what was the other reason why you didn't want them coming here? Well, because I have planets of the Ice Galaxy, my wife, and that run a natural social habitation, just like the planet I'm on here. And then my wife have her own planets. Then I got my own planets, even of her own social habitation. And then to run the quality of the economics and the bargain and the trade, I made sure that individuals didn't come here to stay here, because the fact is they would just help me get rid of situations and then go. A person says, why you do stuff like that? Because one day social vote. So if a person's getting comfortable, I don't want to have to cause the pressure, because overall out of regard is love. I don't want to have to cause the pressuring of another star to go lower and then cause another star's death at a time at a sequency because a person committed an adulterous affair, or they broke their oath and then is scared of what their mother might do and might react in time, and then turns into a bacteria, a virus, or infectious disease when it comes to their mother. A person says, how common do you think that situation could occur? I said I already had demon in demo. I already had Angelo. I already had the demigods a certain type of way for regard also. And then on top of it, if a person is here, they're supposed to clean. Now you're gonna notice the Orion star chart is here. A person says why? Because their situation of their own social habitation is not too far away, and then you don't need to know about it. And then I'm the head of the Ninja Galaxy, so if somebody comes here that's unwanted at a time, they can easily get their fucking head pushed in. You know what I'm saying? Because if you come into my planet and you want to come in-house and argue with niggas about social habitation, or you were at some nigga house of another star partying, and then another nigga have an argument, and then next thing you know, niggas going having like a fucking a park clash or a block party. You know what I'm saying? If niggas having a block party or clash party, another person will be able to regard, because knowing that I'm the consciousness, I'm the real existence. And then you see a person looking for perfect timing, but this piece of shit right here, that piece of shit right there. But you know, listen, I'm the real consciousness, and another individual. If they come in here and they send in their situations, if they send their situations here a certain type of way, then a person knows they have a real medical condition. Now, if a person's already developing a medical condition with me being real creation, that means they're really getting at your consciousness, and that's something you can never get rid of. Now, on a level, when a person does something to individuals in the star chart, and then they punishing individuals, you don't never bring it to my planet. A person says, why you don't bring it to my planet? Because that person that did it to you was already at a level. So you don't gotta bring it to my planet, because they're already certified for what they did. So if another person's trying to figure it out to do certain other things, they're gonna realize the battle that they have to have when they complete. It's just like a person trying to break the Guinness Book of World Records and stuff like that. Those are individuals that's going after certain individuals, and then when a person's trying to vote or cause social voting, you don't want them to break honor and law or through times of social habitation. And you know I do smoke, so you know some chicks have the habit of thinking that they're the empress and they got power of power and stuff like that. And then next thing you know, when the empress want to check her own situation, because that situation situations supposed to make sure that she can manifest, and when they were just prolonging, stalling time and causing other type of mishaps and confusion, she has to learn how to get rid of her own situation. So she had to master of her being in her realm. So if you have a person that's trying to kill her while in the realm, stagnate her, or trying to zombify her in the realm, now the stars would have to know, because it would cause the stars to drop. And this is what I was speaking about already, as far as the pressurization of a person coming that's an elder or another star getting comfortable in my social habitation when they weren't supposed to get comfortable, because they have their own social habitation. And then I don't want them getting slothful and adulterous, or getting into an argument with other individuals or other social star charts they don't know about, and they try to find out about that. Just come check on me at a time, and just because they might have caught them in the act of being an adulteress or breaking their oath or breaking their respect or boundaries of a social star chart of their own respect, an individual will check them naturally according to order, so an individual wouldn't break order to social habitation. But now when you have people that's getting comfortable, or the stars that have their own social, that have their own social to certain other things, and then next thing you know they come on a planet, and then next thing you know they get into arguments. You don't want the pressurization of the outer regard. They got to make sure that they go back up and check the situations that's causing them to be a certain type of way, and trying to stagnate their situation, and to their empress, to their earth, to natural conduct and magnetism, or their light, or their current, of their receptiveness, or the reason of a person trying to break their sacredcy, for the individuals don't endanger the vital, like a vital martial art, but don't endanger the habitation of a social star chart a certain type of way in a paradigm of time. A person gotta be able to gotta be on point, and they can't get comfortable around me because I'm creation. That could go on forever, because remember, we're in the years of refinement, jewel, stone, and element. Now, if a person doesn't know these things and they start doing ignorant things, or they get caught up, or somebody tries to play it off, or it could have been somebody that noted or documented somebody, and then another person doesn't know the difference through time, and then they could have been bullshitting and going at, you could have had some psychotic person or empress that manifests a certain type of way at a certain time that nobody don't know about. She tries to speak to individuals to tell them that she needs certain things. People don't, if there some people wasn't listening to her, and then she feels that's a situation to her, and then next thing you know, she starts to react in a certain type of way, and then she needs help, or then she says, okay, my husband's down there, and my husband's the only one that knows how to deal with it. You'll go get my husband, and then you see another person bullshitting her, trying to get to know her social habitation, her planet, and then she don't want stuff like that. Then on top of it, then it could cause another complication that another person doesn't know about, that's trying to learn about her form of sacredcy or her order when it comes to her star chart, and then she has to regard herself, and it could cause a fucking war to be set off a certain type of way, and then nobody know. And then while I'm on social recovery, everybody got to think about my safety. My wife, her temperament in the spiritual realm that I put her before her manifestation, she don't want to be disrespected, so she's thinking about her safety, my safety, and on top of it, she knows I got some ignorant shit. She can't let the situation go. Then on top of it, she don't want to do so much that she ends up stuck in the spiritual realm a certain type of way that can't manifest, or a person trying to do a mythology filter of the reflection of things that they cause, and then fucking up her conduct through time. So if I call her, she don't want to sleepwalk or get sick. So a lot of situations. So this is the reason why I educated NASA, so they can know the reason of their conduct, of their magnetism, of the obligations of the orbits of the earth, and the reason of receptiveness. And then you have some element empresses or some chicks, even in the physical reality, where their physical was just such fucked up a certain type of way, that if you didn't know the difference, if they manifest, you don't want their jugs or whatever they put away that they didn't like of themselves, causing a reality of a filter in the physical habitation of another person's existence at a time. Then on top of it, because the magnetism of the current, if it was already off, it'd already be too much for another individual that's trying to regard or handle a task, and then you gotta know the truth. And how about if my wife gotta keep this up because she doesn't want to tell a person about her sacredcy, because another person could be a real star at a level, and then they can't know something about sacredcy because they didn't earn that right at that time of that orbiting rotation or obligation, or the access to that planet to know that type type of information because they're not the original honor of that social star chart of his intensity, of his conduct, of his light in time, and then another person doesn't want to argue and give up another person's reasons of rulership of a time sequence to a person that's just trying to interfere and cause an oath to be broken, or just wants their own little personal fuck doll or own little zombie where they stick their fucking penis in every now and then, or torturing somebody for their information of their sacredcy to their mythology, to the natural materializing of the higher origin of their anatomy. So and a person got to know how serious it is even in the paradigm of time. But when you have people taking advantage of elements, causing certain things that they can't comprehend, and another person not going to tell them because they're not able to see the time sequence because of they're not, or they're doing it on purpose because they're just interfering, or it's like they're breaking bank. Because a person doing certain criminal acts, they're actually going to go all the way in physics with any star chart. So you got to know the difference of the physical reality. It's just like, yo, you see, I got my own hospital bed right now, right? Because I didn't have that coronavirus. I don't have any sickness. I'm a person that's clean, clear. I'm the one that made the skies. Then on top of it, a person got to know even before they start getting to counter with certain people, if certain people are causing a certain type of sickness or reaction, and when does it cause a reaction to another individual in the social star chart. But I already did all this already in a paradigm of time, and already had the honors that was supposed to be around me to make sure the regard. And then you have people at a time that bullshitted other people, and then on top of it, they're trying to cover up their crime because they don't care if they end the world, the planet, or whatever they cause to their own, how can I say this, disorientation of their physical reality that caused their fall or caused them to be lowered or demoted even in their own social habitation, even when it came to acknowledgement, or if they already lied and they were just filling in for an individual that was already on social recovery, or an individual that was just, they was set just to do certain tasks for an individual on social recovery, while a person repairs of their reparation of their physical habitation to their anatomy, to their conduct, or the intensity of their light through time. Now, you don't want to get caught up in those type of situations, and then you have people that's fearful that knows another person knows the truth and is not going to allow any slothful conduct. Because my wife, she ain't going to want to look slothful, and then on top of it, when people did certain things for her, she know who did certain things, what it was about, because another person could get hurt in a martial art blow, another person could have did certain type of magic, and then because the empress is a certain type of way, they picked up that conduct. So because it's good for their position at a time, so it adjusts. If I call them an empress, it doesn't interfere with her anatomy, and she knows how to adjust her own situation to her comfortability, to the way she wants to operate in her own habitation, so it don't cause any kind of mishaps or current, or a person to cause the higher empress to go off to the marital situation between me and her of her sacredcy, or cause an innocent family of natural order to die of the natural law of honors of magi, majestic, or majesty, majestic, or empress, or imperial, or royal, higher class, middle class, or lower class. Another person got to know the reasons of certain things and the reasons of certain time. And it's not meant for everybody to know, because if you have a certain star that operates the inner intent of my wife's habitation, all you're gonna see is the outer regard, the outer cover. Now, if the higher inner intent is intense a certain type of way, now it's not going to be shown in the sky. But once it's revealed a certain type of way in social habitation, a person doesn't know the natural operations, to the reasons of their human condition, to their higher origin of existence, then a person knows what to handle of the physical reality, so they don't get caught up by stupid individuals that trying to manipulate or try to cause identity theft or a form of recognition where they're trying to steal credit from I'm another individual or breaking bank like other individuals that you just seen here with that tow truck and other people already driving that's not supposed to be driving cars because I never gave them the car to drive. And this is why a person says you don't know what's going on what type of earth you on, and then once I told you, you were supposed to know to put yourself in check in order not to get caught up in a situation, but another person that you see that kept going. So the intent is like a person that's bullshitting you, and then a person that wants to know about somebody that's keeping certain things going and they don't know the natural operations, and then on top of it, they're not a type of person to be handling situations. They're just going in and then they're causing a recondition, or they might cause a pressurization of cause a falling to lower a star and cause a falling star, or some whole bitches when a person was on social recovery that got hurt, that was just planet hopping and is trying to take other people's social habitation, even when it comes to international security. This is why I'm shutting down the precincts, because the precincts, the individuals cause a lot of ignorance, and then when you look at them, a lot of them look foul stink, you wearing a uniform, and then real chicks of international security are not supposed to be involved. Matter of fact, I don't gotta tell you about something like that. You don't need to know something like that. When a person's doing something and they're being stupid, they're already out there, and a person doesn't know the difference. And then when a person's doing something, because you have other people that took even oaths that tried to even manipulate. When my wife was checking their history and their rap, she's like, "Oh, who is that?" And then they took certain type of oaths. My wife wants to regulate and is watching this movement because of certain things is not like I speak over already. They don't know the social habitation, and then on top of it, if they're trying to cause an upset, or if they're just trying to get information, or they're being spiteful because a person wasn't paying attention, or another empress wasn't paying attention, and because it linked up to her system a certain type of way, and a person's following the reason why they were aggravating a person's consciousness a certain type of way. Now me, I'm not a person that's ignorant. I can't ignore situations, and me, I'm a person that's very conscious and intellectual when it comes to current and magnetism. So you see when a person's doing certain things, and you could tell when a person's doing criminal acts because they're not supposed to be doing certain things. Now, it's just like this. Right now, I'll show you something. A whole heap of fucking stars are gonna come bust your ass at the time. A person says why? Because another person needs to know if a person's going too intricate to see certain things, or if a person try to call. Now, me is natural, but if another person somewhere, and then another person happens to see that it is fluctuating somewhere, a certain type of next place, okay, that person could be acknowledged full about certain things. I'm already speaking. But if they're trying to bust a nigga head, or they're trying to do certain other things, a person gotta be comprehensive about what's going on, right? A person will look at something a certain way. A person doesn't know everything that's going on. You wouldn't even believe at the time. A person thinking you know something. I'm going to a divorce with China, but it doesn't matter. I still handle the situation. So another person causing certain things at a time doesn't even know what's going on and what I'm speaking about at the time. And then they could end up in a serious danger, because that means if they were really interfering into one of those type of people, then they're going to end up really fucked up at the time. And you're not going to know, because I'm the paradigm of time. You understand? So if a person manipulated and was causing certain things and didn't know how serious individuals are with social habitation, especially out of regard, the reason of one's conduct of dignity, of one's current and magnetism, and of one's regard to the humane condition, then they end up in a certain type of situation. And then you have a bunch of fucking bitches that probably tried to fill in, tried to manipulate men, and did all type of things, and then there was broken jugs, and then caused other individuals to come out their own casting, because not knowing that I used to put chicks in casts just to repair their anatomy about certain things that you don't even know about. And the person think they're moving. Listen, man. You know, it's just like looking at something and then your worst nightmare of what you wouldn't even believe, where the element even shows you and develops something at a time and says you don't know, realize the danger that's already in front of you and what's possibly happening, and you don't want to cause a worldwide panic because of another person's stupidity of